The cleanliness-obsessed blood prince surprisingly took in a dirty werewolf servant. At night, within the ancient castle, the 200-year-old vampire prince, 𝗔𝗯cie, stared at the wolf covered in scars, its eyes filled with a murderous intent. The wolf glared at him angrily. "You vampires always enjoy putting on airs." Igor seemed to ignore the remark, extending his hand to grasp the creature's most vulnerable throat. The wolf instantly transformed into human form. Clearly, the injured werewolf was no match for Igor. For Igor, the only amusement tonight was this little fellow who managed to break free from the sole agreement of the vampires. Now, the rebellious and bloodthirsty creature seemed interesting. If he could make him submit, it would be quite entertaining. Igor decided to give him a chance. "You have 5 seconds to consider. Be my slave, and I'll have Leon release your pack." The werewolf didn't understand his intentions, but thinking about his suffering pack, if this person could truly save them. 3, 2. Igor began the countdown. The werewolf slowly raised his head. "If you can truly save my pack, I will bow before you." Igor chuckled, looking at the werewolf who offered his blood and signed a contract with him. He sighed and thought to himself that this little fellow was indeed quite interesting. However, before finalizing the covenant, Igor insisted that the werewolf needed to take a bath, given the strict cleanliness standards of the noble blood vampires. Dragging the werewolf to the edge of the bath, Igor pushed him in. Watching the struggle as the werewolf emerged from the water, revealing his robust physique, Igor sighed repeatedly. He thought it was quite a bargain for the werewolf, considering that it was his private hot spring pool, untouched by others. Thinking of the favor he was about to ask, the werewolf could only express gratitude. "Wow, thank you so much, master." Igor watched the cleaned-up werewolf climb out of the pool, opened the collar for the upcoming covenant ceremony, gently approached the werewolf's neck, and bared his fangs, distinctive of the blood vampires. He bit down. "I, 𝗔𝗯cie, hereby agree to make you as my slave. You will serve me and pledge your lifelong loyalty to me. Break the pact and your soul shall be destroyed forever." Hearing Igor recite the oath, the werewolf knelt on one knee. "I, Hendrik Augustine, hereby agree to make the pact. I will serve 𝗔𝗯cie and pledge my lifelong loyalty to him." Feeling that he now had complete control over the other's heart, Igor understood that the covenant was sealed. Igor tossed a set of clothes to him, preparing for them to go together to Leon to rescue Hendrik's pack. Hendrik looked indifferently at the additional mark of the soul covenant on his heart. After all, he had once had a mark, and since he was able to remove the previous one, he believed he could also remove the current one. However, it was not the right time yet. They had to rescue the clan members first. Igor glanced at him, saying, "My covenant is not as simple as you think." Outside the castle, the vampire butler, Mr. Lewis, had prepared the carriage. As soon as Igor stepped out, a little creature grabbed onto his leg. It turned out to be the newborn vampire baby, Milo. Igor shook off Milo and noticed Hendrik standing nearby in a daze. Igor demanded that he fulfill his duties as a servant. Although Hendrik didn't understand his meaning, he obediently walked over. Igor instructed him, "Kneel down. The carriage is too high, and I need you to help me get on." Seeing Igor's arrogance, Hendrik became very angry. Lewis, who was standing nearby, sighed, unsure how long Hendrik could endure as a servant. Hendrik reached out his hand and instantly embraced Igor's waist. He said, "As your servant, I have a better way to help you get on the carriage." Igor was greatly shocked, and before he could react, he found himself already placed in the carriage. The butler, Lewis, and Milo were even more stunned, standing there in disbelief. Igor angrily exclaimed, "Hendrik Augustine, how dare you? But it was so much easier and more comfortable, wasn't it? You didn't have to take steps, or move a muscle even." Hendrik replied with a sarcastic tone. Upon hearing his explanation, Igor knew that Hendrik was displeased with his behavior and decided to seek revenge later. "Hendrik, you're good. You truly are a considerate servant," Igor said. "Just doing my job, master," Hendrik replied. Igor closed the door and instructed the coachman to prepare for departure. In another Blood Clan castle on the outskirts, a blonde-haired man with red eyes named Leon is receiving praise from the people below because he had captured a member of the werewolf clan, although one had managed to escape. Suddenly, a hurried attendant rushed in and informed him that someone from the 𝗔𝗯cie family had arrived. The blonde man stood up with a shocked expression. The other party was a member of the royal clan, while he was only a count. Inside the castle, everyone bowed respectfully as Leon awkwardly inquired about Igor's purpose for coming. Igor sat down and stated that he had come today solely to retrieve his servant's fellow clan members. When Lord Leon saw the werewolf who had escaped from his own castle standing beside Igor, he felt a deep sense of fear. However, considering the value these werewolves could provide him, he wanted to plead with Igor to allow him to keep them. Upon hearing his words, Igor's smile vanished from his face, and a surge of dark magic engulfed him. He lifted Leon up, saying, "Lord Leon, have you forgotten your own status?" Gasping for breath with his throat being squeezed, Leon felt the difficulty in breathing. He kicked his legs in desperation and begged Igor for mercy. Igor tossed Leon to the side, and Leon quickly instructed his subordinates to bring up the werewolves from the dungeon. Watching Leon being helpless in Igor's grip, like a toy, Hendrik couldn't help but feel a twinge of apprehension towards Igor's power. Meanwhile, Leon was already plotting his revenge for the future. "You seem to hold quite a grudge against my master." Leon turned around to find Hendrik, but before he could respond, Hendrik's right hand transformed into a wolf claw and launched an attack. "As my master's servant, I will not spare anyone who disrespects my master."